Hey guys, M.K.S here. Hope everyone's well. Uh, it's another one of my controversial videos, I suppose. But I'm, I'm hoping to make video. I thought of ideas like the Native American Empowerment Plan and a New Deal for Native Americans, which with the idea of trying to support Native Americans through like reducing their taxes and giving them more support and things like that. So as ever, I'd love to make those videos in the future, and I'd love to hear what you think about them. But anyway, this video is about P.O.C, people of color, and some of the things in my opinion, anyway, these are all my own opinions. So please don't shoot the messenger, and not everyone will, of course, agree. And I suppose you could say it's quite controversial because people of color shouldn't necessarily think the same things just because we're P.O.C. So anyway, not everyone. Maybe not everyone will agree, but as I say, they are my own personal opinions. So anyway, I'm going to get on with this list. It's another one of my list videos, so I hope people out there will enjoy it as ever. And hopefully you'll enjoy the change of scenery because I've moved the laptop again. So I did that because my brother told me to, but also hopefully, coincidentally, it will give a new scenery. But anyway, I'm going to stop rambling and crack on with the list. So as ever, please let me know any of your thoughts, opinions, views, questions, or anything else you want to comment. So anyway, so number one, I think like committing crimes. A lot of this list, actually, I forgot to say in the intro, is based on, I think it's like what I think if I was fully white, if you like, and I was a white supremacist or neo-Nazi or far-right person, whatever you want to call them, I use those terms interchangeably. These are the things I would want people of color to do. So I think they're like kind of the opposite to what I think we should do. And I love to encourage people of color not to do these things, or in other words, discourage people of color, POC, from doing these things, and like work with BAME, black and ethnic minority groups here in the UK and in the US, like NAACP or whatever they're called, and people of color groups generally, like Latinos, Hispanics, Asian, Black, mixed race, Native American, and so on and so forth, and possibly anti-imperialist groups generally, to work with them. But yeah, like committing crimes is something I would discourage, because I think that white supremacists, like the KKK or other groups linked to them and whatnot, often say like POC, people of color, commit crime, and they give statistics, and some of them probably lies anyway. But I mean, even if we did discourage crime, I suppose they're probably just going to say it's a gimmick anyway. But still, I still think it'd be better not to commit crimes and all that. I suppose as I said before, I don't always agree with all the things in the Bible, but one of the things I do think is that I'm looking at it from a biblical point of view, like not committing crimes mainly. So I think it's much better. And I suppose I'm probably, again, as I talk about it being my own personal opinions, I'm probably putting a lot of my own thoughts into this. So yeah, I think not committing crimes, and I think like trying to do everything legally and ethically as much as possible, I think would be. So in terms of things we shouldn't do, in my opinion, I think it's like breaking the law, doing things that are unethical and stuff like that, which is obviously debatable. Anyway, so moving on. Number two, I think being divided and disunited is something I think we should do less of, preferably as little as possible, where we fight each other or we go against each other. I mean, I'm not saying we should agree on everything. I mean, I think we should sometimes agree to disagree, but I think we should do so amicably. And because white supremacists, again, neo-Nazis, far right, for the simplicity purposes, I might just call them white supremacists, and by that I mean neo-Nazis, far right, and that sort of thing. But it'd be easier just to call them white supremacists to make it short. But yeah, so I think we should be united against white supremacy and like support each other instead of going against each other. Again, I don't think that means we should always agree or we shouldn't have our own independent thoughts. I think that doesn't mean every person of colour, I think, should vote the same way or be conservative or Democrat or whatever. I think we should still be individuals, but I still think it would be good if we support each other, like support each other's businesses, funded each other and all that. And again, I think if someone's a decent person, whatever background they are, whatever colour, religion, race, whatever, excuse me, what that was, I think we should support them, not just because of their skin, but I do think it would be good if we do support each other's businesses if we can. Again, that's another one of my opinions, but I think it'd be good if we were less disunited, divided and all that sort of stuff. Number three, I think But again, another thing is like taking away liberty. I think that's another thing we should stop doing, or at least limit doing, because again, the white supremacists can use it to say that we want to take away their rights, or we want. For me personally, I'm going to talk about a list of things, if I can, what I think we should stand for or should do more of. So that, I know that would be kind of like just the opposite of this, but yeah. So I think we should like look at how we don't take away people's liberty and call for more taxes, or look at things that would take away liberty. And I think it'd be good. Like another thing is like I talked about unity. I think it'd be good if people in Africa and Asia, like the leaders and indigenous communities, indigenous Native American communities, or whatnot, would look after our own people again. Talking about our own people, like in unity, or their own people, because I think like if you look at so many people are leaving Africa and Asia, especially Africa, to go to Europe, and many are risking life and limb, and partly it's because they're treated bad by their own leaders, and I think that's a real bad shame. So I think it'd be good if Africa and Asia could make themselves proud, and like people of color could help Africa and Asia to make themselves proud, so that they wouldn't have to risk life and limb to travel to Europe. So, and that would stop a brain drain from leaving as well. Number 4, again, I think it'd be good if if people of color weren't violent or divided, and we only fought to protect ourselves from attacks, like if people do, or protect the vulnerable as well. I take things literally. Like when people say self-defense, I think it would be good to not just self-defense, but when I take it literally, I think defense of the vulnerable, or people who are weaker, like physically or whatever, can't look after themselves. I think it'd be good if we protected people, but at the same time try to be as peaceful and peace-loving as possible. Again, obeying the law as much as we can, trying to avoid breaking the law or doing things that are unethical or immoral, or using force. Or again, it'd be good if African or Asian leaders didn't break some human rights and things like that, and if people of color were as united as possible. And the other thing is, I think we shouldn't join the military, in my opinion. I think it'd be much better if we joined like the police or law, or found out about things like that. I know I've talked about that before, but again, this is controversial. It's my own personal opinion, but I think that we'd be much more divided. I think we are much more divided when we join the military, because a lot of the wars that are taking place are against countries where people are of color, like Vietnam or Iraq, or places like that. And so, like, there's so much division between black and Arabic people, say for instance, or black and Asian people, unfortunately, which I think could be cut back on as much as possible if we didn't join the military, because like the black people could say, we don't take over your country, or we don't fight you, so please give us more human rights. And then I think, in my opinion, the Arabs should give them more human rights as well in their countries, because they could say, these guys are not the ones who fight us or take over us. So we could be much more united if we don't join the military, but instead like join the police or join other things, or support each other's businesses, or like empower each other to run businesses, so we wouldn't have to join the military. And I think it'd be great even if we lobbied, so we wouldn't even have to pay taxes towards the military. Things like that. Again, these are all my opinions. Number 5, again, I think we shouldn't do things that go against other people of color, or our own people, our own community. Since we're so hated by the white supremacists, I think it'd be good to unite and support each other as much as possible. Number 6, I don't think we should be. I'd always discourage like laziness, perhaps. I mean, I know people might think I'm lazy, but I like to see myself as like someone who wants to work smart instead of hard. I know I'm not a very hard-working person, but I don't see myself as lazy either. I don't think you have to be either or, because most people probably say you're either hard-working or you're lazy. So, but to me, I don't see myself as either of those things, although some people might say I'm lazy. But I think we shouldn't be lazy or just like, if we can, I think we should be independent. Like if we can choose where our tax money goes, I think we should try and get jobs or run businesses or keep ourselves active, and try not to rely on benefits or things like that. Maybe not try to hand handouts, but if people invest in us, I think we should look at how we can use that money to grow businesses and always do our best, basically. So I think we should never not do our best. If I'm talking about things I think we shouldn't do. Number 7, I think we shouldn't mock other people's religions or way of life. Number 8, again, I think we should unite together against white supremacy and not fail to unite. I think, and again, not fight each other. Sorry if I'm repeating points, but not be against each other. Do things that, if we thought to ourselves, if would white supremacists prefer us to do this sort of thing, and when we fight each other, I think white supremacists, if they're sensible, would prefer us to do that. And also, as I say, join the military and things like that if we fight each other. So I think we should be much more united and stop being divided. And again, I think we should join the military or go against other people of colour or things like that. Number 9, I think we shouldn't fail to plan, and that sort of thing. And number 10, I think we shouldn't. I think again, going back to obeying the law, I suppose this would come under it. I think we shouldn't. We should look after children, not look after children. Talking about what I think we shouldn't do. Like we shouldn't leave children not looked after, or like neglect children, or do things that harm children or animals or nature or things like that. I think we should do the opposite to that. Obviously, I'm thinking of making another video where I say what I think we should be for or stand for, but I suppose I don't want to repeat too many of the points, but I suppose it'd be like kind of opposite to this list. But anyway, I hope that made sense for part 1, and hopefully you'll look out for part 2. As ever, I'd love to know what you think, and I'm out. Peace and love.